Good morning. It's Wednesday, October 4th, 2017. This is the Daily Mix TV. So Walmart is determined to not be outdone by Amazon, especially when it comes to same-day delivery. The mass market retailer announced on Tuesday that it has acquired Parcel. It's a last-mile delivery startup that specializes in delivery of perishable items and general merchandise to customers in New York City. They operate out of a warehouse in Brooklyn and deliver goods the same day, overnight, and in scheduled 2-hour windows. So this kind of service is essential when you get into a city like New York. It's so complicated, it's so dense in terms of population, certainly in terms of all of the idiosyncrasies that you have to deal with, and we'll talk about that in a second. But this company is especially good, meaning Parcel, is especially good in terms of how they communicate with customers. So they provide customers with real-time updates via text messaging throughout the delivery process. I know people who've used Parcel service and they rave about it. So from an acquisition point of view, this is a smart move for Walmart. Now, the financial terms of the deal were not disclosed, but the acquisition does come as Walmart's Jet.com unit has been testing free same-day delivery of certain orders to customers in New York City. Now, delivery is complicated in New York, as we said. We've got an incredible amount of gridlock right now because of certain issues in the market, like the bike lanes and the traffic pattern was never really adjusted to accommodate those kinds of things. And I do know that the city's working on it. But as we head into the holiday season, this is only going to get worse because remember, the holiday season in New York City is one of the busiest times of year with respect to tourist traffic. Now, Walmart will be able to tap into Parcel's homegrown familiarity with the market. You see, Parcel is not just a delivery service. They have been mining data using their couriers. So what does that mean? When they make a delivery, they take a photograph of the building, they take a photograph of the door, they take a photograph of the block. So they actually have started a very interesting database of information that allows them to work smarter, not harder, meaning they can figure out, based on traffic pattern, certain logistics with respect to buildings and those kinds of things, how to cluster those deliveries better. Now, that is a very interesting move for a company like Parcel that's being acquired by Walmart. This is really great, especially when you go up against a service like Amazon, which is just growing by leaps and bounds on a virtual daily basis. Now, Parcel will continue to service and grow its current client base, according to Walmart. They do have partnerships with several meal kit, grocery, and e-commerce companies. So it's clear that Walmart is making an investment in this, not just for their own business, but certainly to diversify their holdings. Now, the National Retail Federation has released its forecast for the holiday shopping season. And boy, is this lofty. They're projecting that holiday sales will balloon between 3.6 and 4% year over year. Now, the forecast, which doesn't include automobile, gas, and restaurant sales, comes out about a month after the NRF, National Retail Federation, dialed back on their earlier lofty annual sales projections of between 3.7% and 4.2% growth. They dialed that down to 3.2 to 3.8%. So, you're talking about almost a full percentage drop in that. And that's a seriously big number when you dial down into how many Americans there are, how many sales happen on a daily basis, and what happens during the all-too-busy holiday season. Now, the estimate for this year's holiday period is flat to slightly up compared to 2016's 3.6% growth. So remember, you're literally talking about 3.6 to 4% is what they're stating. 3.6 is what happened last year. So I think that they're really deluding themselves by believing it's going to be flat or slightly up. I actually believe it's going to be flat or slightly down. Sales this season will be boosted. Now, here's where they claim that they're getting the increase from. Sales this season will be boosted by one extra day of shopping. There are 32 days between Christmas and Thanksgiving this year, so that's one more than 2016. Now, also, Christmas does fall on a Monday this year, so that allows for a full weekend of shopping right before the holiday. For once, we're all looking forward to Monday, right? The 5-year average sales increase is about 3.5%, according to the NRF. Now, frankly, this really is an overly aggressive estimation. They aren't taking into account that there have been so many doors closing and that retailers are likely going to be chasing consumers toward the back half of the holiday sales season with massive discounting. Remember, guys, our credit card debt is the highest it has ever been in this country. So people are not only short on cash, they don't have a buffer in terms of stretching out on their credit lines to buy products either. So the other issue I have, frankly, with the NRF is, first of all, it's a pay-to-play. It's a trade organization. Secondly, they're not taking into account restaurant sales, automobile, gasoline. These are things that affect the bottom line in terms of how consumers spend. So if I'm stretching to pay my auto loan or, fuel prices are going up, that's going to take away from my holiday spending because, again, I don't have that credit card buffer. Now, the other issue at hand is restaurants. Restaurants exhibit or experience an abnormally high traffic volume during this time of year, with company parties and events and friend and family gatherings, those kinds of things. So again, you're looking at how does that affect the spending pattern for holiday gifting, let alone decor and those kinds of things. So we're going to keep an eye on this one for you, but honestly, I think the NRF really needs to have its head examined for how lofty those projections are. Now, Shake Shack, the burger chain founded by famed restaurateur Danny Meyer, is taking a bit of a, technological approach to its newest location. The company is opening a cashless kiosk-only location at Astor Place in Manhattan later this month. I believe it's going to be in the next 2 weeks. The outpost will feature several digital kiosks, and there will be employees stationed around to assist guests with their orders and answer any questions. Now, using the kiosk, you can select your food, place your order, and then you can choose to receive a text alert. So instead of one of those silly buzzer things that tell you when your table's ready or your order's ready, they're actually going to text you. So that allows you to go outside of the restaurant and go to some of the stores in the neighborhood, that kind of thing. Don't go too far though, because as we all know, when it comes to Shake Shack, the lines are long. But man, you really got to be on the money on that one. Now, you can use your mobile phone to also place an order via the Shake Shack app. Sorry, guys. Apparently, this location will have a similar dining and waiting area to the other locations that they have, according to reports. Now, Shake Shack has stated the kiosk concept was developed to allow it to serve more patrons at peak times, resulting in fewer lines, less wait time, and certainly quicker speed of service at every channel. Now, they're calling this a business model to support digital innovation. So basically what they're doing is, in my opinion, they're shifting the focus off of the fact that there will be less people working, and they're promoting their starting wage of $15 an hour at the sake of the actual employee because they're rolling out these kiosks. Now, I'm all for digital innovation, and I think it's very smart, but the spin that's being put into this is a little worrisome. And that's unusual for Danny Meyer because he's always been about his employees. So maybe it's just a poorly written press release. Maybe it's just not the right wording in many of the reports that we've seen. But to me, I think replacing people with kiosks in some respects is a good idea. In food service, maybe not as much because you always want to have that interaction with the customer. It is absolutely key in customer service. Now remember, Shake Shack opened its first location back in 2004 in Manhattan. They currently, only 13 years later, operate 85 or more than 85 locations in 18 U.S. states and the District of Columbia, and they have more than 50 international locations. There's a reason why Shake Shack is an iconic brand, guys. Now, congratulations to the Bronx Bombers for making it into the American League Division Series. The New York Yankees beat the Minnesota Twins last night 8-4 during the American League wildcard game at Yankee Stadium. There's now setting up a date with last year's American League champs, the Cleveland Indians, in the Division Series. Best of luck, boys. My name is Sean Patrick Hillman. I am the CEO of Hill Story Marketing. I'm also the editor-in-chief of the Daily Mix TV. We would love to hear from you, so please email us at thedailymixtv@gmail.com. Have a great rest of your day, guys. We'll catch you tomorrow.